added lap, but they have decreased the distance that they will run per lap. And right now in your picture, you've got First Defense. On the inside of him, it's Talon. And then in sequential order goes Panama Jack. I see Champion Marine. Team Skater is there. And High Risk. It's High Risk, Talon Special, Talon Comp actually, Panama Jack. Coming right into your picture, that's High Risk on the inside. High Risk, First Defense, going neck and neck. And we've got the green flag and we've got racing. And as always, Rich Felson's High Risk and First Defense will be going at it all out. That's Team Skater jumping out to a quick early lead. And on the far outside, that's Wild Turkey joining the challenge. So we've got Wild Turkey, Team Skater, High Risk, First Defense, Talon Comp 37, Champion Marine, all off to an excellent start. High Risk and First Defense provided some excellent racing in Wednesday's leg, and I'm sure today will be no different. Talon Comp had a great race going in the earlier stages on Wednesday, but met with some disappointing mechanical problems. We certainly hope that'll be improved. On the far outside, that's Wild Turkey, and on the center of your picture, that's Team Skater off to your early lead. Wild Turkey and Team Skater. And there's Rich Felson's High Risk on the inside. And on the very far outside, on the inside of Wild Turkey, that's Hooters. So you've got Wild Turkey, Team Skater, and High Risk neck and neck, followed by Hooters. Talon Comp 37 is also right in the thick of things. You get an idea with those white caps that we are going to be experiencing some much rougher water weather conditions today. Wild Turkey unofficially in first place. Frank Latch doing an excellent job once again. They had a very good run on Wednesday, and they certainly hope to improve. There you get an idea of the field. Wild Turkey in first, High Risk on the inside in second, dueling with Team Skater in the middle of the pack. High Risk taking a slight lead right now, so it's High Risk, Team Skater, and Wild Turkey neck and neck. Very good start. Certainly going to be interesting today. We've got different weather conditions and water conditions on Saturday than we did on Wednesday. So depending on how they set up their boats, it's certainly going to dictate the performance levels that they will encounter today. Because we do have much rougher seas, the boats are prepared for it, should prevail today. Right now, a nice overhead shot provided by Paul Barth of Biscayne Helicopter over the Team Skater race team. Now we're going to go with Team Skater, P32. This is a 32-foot Douglas Marine skater powered by three 240 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Offshore Technologies Incorporated from Rocky River, Ohio. Russ Wilkin from Bluffton, Indiana is your driver here today. Navigating is Tony Caligari, who is also doing the throttles from Lynbrook, New York. Tony Caligari from Ocean Outboard has had some memorable campaigns throughout the years. Oh, there, Caligari and Wilkin coming way up on that wave, which came out of nowhere, propelled the bow of the boat way up in the air. The stern came down, and the whole boat came down with a thud into that water. Seems to be no problems that we can see from this point in time, as Team Skater is back online. Certainly shakes up the crew, though. But Caligari and Wilkin, being the tough competitors that they are back on course. Team Skater had a disappointing 7th place on Wednesday, and they're certainly looking to atone right now. On the outside of your course, that was Talon Comp 37, and right in the wake of the Team Skater, High Risk is ahead of them. So you've got High Risk on the outside, Talon Comp 37, also on the far outside of the course, and Team Skater is taking the middle road. You really get an idea of how rough it is here today. Very different weather conditions than we had on Wednesday, making for some rough weather racing right now. High Risk on the outside, Talon Comp 37 on the inside. High Risk had a good finish, first place finish on Wednesday, so he'd love to have a good finish here today and wrap it up. Talon Comp was running very strong. also plagued by mechanical problems, just as Team Skater was. But Wilkin and Caligari know what they can do, and they're definitely going to go all out here today because it's the final race for all the points. From Key West, Florida, it's P32, the Team Skater race team. Team Skater extending a slight lead over Rich Felson's High Risk after the exciting duel that they've just encountered. And then you see the rest of the fleet behind the second and third place boat. In that group we've got First Defense, Hydrotech, Hooters, Panama Jack, all there in that picture. And right now we're on the hard-charging P26, Talon Comp 37. This is a 37-foot Talon race hull powered by three 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Gary Armington of Sarasota, Florida, and Richard Middleton is your driver, also hailing from Sarasota, Florida. Rich Middleton, a familiar name in racing. He's had so many great drives in Team Gulfwind, but that is a smaller boat, and he really seems to be enjoying the ride here on the larger 37-foot hull Talon Comp 37. They were running very well in Wednesday's race, but then mechanical problems plagued them, and they finished in a disappointing 9th place. But however, with the way the points are doubled up here today, a first-place finish could put them in a very commanding position, depending on how other racers do. So it's the value of the points today that make it very exciting here on Saturday's final race. Armington and Middleton realize this. They're presently going all out and running in a commanding first-place lead over some of the other boats in their class. It's Talon Comp 37 passing the boat Vanishing Point. It is an A boat that started out 7 minutes earlier before all these other boats started. So you get an idea of some of the ground that these bigger boats are making up already. They've caught some of the slower running boats in the A division. Talon Comp 37 going all out right now. Armington and Middleton know what it's going to take today, and we certainly wish them all the best here today from the Battle on the Seas in Key West, Florida. Comp 37 is putting on a great show for the fans who have lined Mallory Square. And right there you get an idea of the business end of this machine. Those 3 Mercury 2.4 EFI outboard motors are really putting out the power right now. Doing a great job. And Armington on throttles is a real ace in the hole, doing a fantastic job. Armington and Middleton making up P26, the Talon Comp 37. Talon doing very well here on the race course, and they also do make pleasure boats also. And inching into the picture right there, that's Rich Felson's high-risk race team. He will not be denied here today. Good Run Wednesday, Felson knows what he's got to do to place high here today to take first place, and he is not backing down. He's running very strong right now. You've got high risk on the outside, Talon Comp 37 on the inside. Excellent racing right here. Two champions going at it in a head-to-head format. High risk starting to extend a slight lead over Talon Comp 37. But I'm sure they won't let him get too far out of sight. They're going to stay right with him throughout the whole race. Now we're going to come up on Frank Latch's Wild Turkey P35. It's a 30-foot Chris Cat powered by two 650 horsepower Engine Tech Chevrolet motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned and throttled by Frank Latch from Fairfield, New Jersey, and Frank Latch Jr., also from Fairfield, is your driver. Frank Latch would like to extend a very special thanks to Joe and Gary of Engine Tech. That's high risk on the outside, which seems to be coming off slightly. We're not quite sure, but Frank Latch has just gone by, and Talon Comp 37 has also gone by Rich Felson's high-risk race team. That could be a tough break for Rich Felson at this point in the race. However, back to Frank Latch. He'd like to extend that special thanks to Joe and Gary of Engine Tech, and also Lee Donovan, and a very special thanks to his girlfriend Suzanne for all her patience and support that she's given Frank throughout the 1989 campaign. And he's had a very good campaign. Frank Latch, a great throttle man. He's been part of so many great campaigns over the years. That's Ken's Oil, a smaller boat who also got off to one of the 7-minute earlier starts, is being passed by the bigger boats right now. But Latch has got this Chris Cat dialed in quite nicely, and he's doing very well right now. Wild Turkey took a 3rd place on Wednesday, so with a good finish here today for them, they could be the champion. There's so many boats who have the opportunity to be your champ in this division today. They're all aware of it. They're all going to go all out and get as many points as they can. Frank Latch having a very good run right now. Running in the high 60s, low 70s. In this rough water, that's phenomenal speeds. Frank Latch's Wild Turkey race team. Paul Barth, our helicopter pilot, doing an excellent job providing Jeff Girardi, our head cameraman, with these very good views for viewing. Frank Latch also doing a phenomenal job here today on the throttles. This Wild Turkey is dialed in extremely well. Smooth sail right here. They're doing excellent right now. A little rough right there, but no problem for Latch. He gets the boat right back on plane. A real expert on handling of that throttle. Frank Latch Sr. along with Frank Latch Jr. comprising the Wild Turkey race team from Key West, Florida. Now we come up on the Hydrotech race team and the Champion Marine race team. Both were having relatively good runs on Wednesday until they were plagued by mechanical problems. Hydrotech having a 10th place finish on Wednesday, very disappointing for them. And your Champion Marine race team took a 6th place. So they are in the thick of things right now. You've got Hydrotech race team on the inside and Champion Marine race team on the outside. Let's stick with P99, the Hydrotech race team. This is a Hydrotech race hull powered by 3 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Hydrotech Powerboats. This boat is driven and throttled by This boat is being throttled by Greg Young and driven by Ed Jones. The Champion Marine race team coming up right along the inside of Hydrotech race team. We've got 2 boats going head to head here. Excellent racing right now. P13, the Champion race team, is a 32-foot skater going up against the Hydrotech race hull. Both boats having 3 Mercury outboard motors, so we're very similar power plants right here, but the hulls of the boat are different and obviously the crews. Champion Marine out of North Miami, Florida is your owner of this boat. On throttles you've got Jeff Sofer from North Miami, Florida, and Jim Cohn is your driver of the Champion Marine race team. The Hydrotech race team taking a slight lead. Gregory Young and Ed Jones aboard the Hydrotech powerboat is taking a slight lead right now over Champion Marine. But it's a long race, rough seas, so we obviously will have to wait and see what happens here today between these 2 boats. But they are locked in a fierce battle. Seems to be a very similar battle that High Risk and First Defense was locked into in our first day of racing. Unofficially, we've heard that Rich Felson's High Risk race team has dropped out of the race. That's a tough break for Felson, who had a good run on Wednesday, but it certainly does open the door for the rest of the field. And there we have Hydrotech, who has started to extend their lead over Champion Marine. And as they come down the beach and into Mallory Square, the fans here in Key West are being treated to some excellent racing between Hydrotech and Champion Marine right now. Super racing. When they go into the inlet here and going down toward Mallory Square, these drivers put the throttle all the way down, and it's an all-out drag race at this point in the race. Hydrotech race team and Champion Marine going through Mallory Square. Greg Young and Ed Jones aboard Hydrotech enjoying a very good run. They're locked in a fierce battle, as we said, with Champion Marine. And right now we've unofficially heard that Frank Latch's Wild Turkey race team has also joined High Risk as they are out of the race. So the field is becoming wide open in semi-pro number 1 for a lot of the other boats here today. So some of the boats that might have had a disappointing finish on Wednesday can have a good finish here today and walk away with a checkered. It's certainly going to make for some very interesting results. And 2 boats are locked in that battle right now are Hydrotech and Champion Marine. And now we're back to Champion Marine, which is owned by Champion Marine in North Miami, Florida. Jeff Sofer and Jim Cohn making up this Champion race crew. Sofer on the throttles, Cohn driving, and they're locked in that battle with Hydrotech. Champion Marine took a 6th place on Wednesday, so he's in a position to move up today with a good finish. And with some of your stronger competitors already out of the race, they stand a very good chance, as Hydrotech does also, of being in your top 3 finishers here today in the semi-pro number 1 group. From Key West, Florida, it's the Champion Marine race team. Sofer doing a great job on the throttles. These Mercury outboards are responding to his every command, and this skater hull is doing a fantastic job. Champion Marine looking very good right now. We wish them all the best from Key West, Florida. Now we're coming up on First Defense. Mike Novick and Eddie Martinez in the First Defense race team. With High Risk being out of the race, this certainly opens the door for Mike Novak and the First Defense race team. His arch nemesis, Rich Felson's High Risk, is out of the race, thus leaving the door wide open for Novick to walk through and perhaps take the checkered flag here today in the semi-pro number 1 class. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. We've got some rough water conditions. Speeds could be slightly off here today, being that they are running in some very rough water. But with Felson out of the race, Novick does not need to go all out and thus necessitate perhaps having a breakage or forcing him out of the race like Frank Latch and Rich Felson. So Novick will just take it easy, try to get through the course here, and when the opportunity presents itself, he'll put that throttle all the way down and run hard. First Defense race team. He had a 2nd place in Wednesday's race, so he'd love to have a good finish here today. And on the outside, that's Great Adventure, B54, going by First Defense. Great Adventure looking very strong. Great Adventure is in your semi-pro class number 3. But P55, First Defense, is looking very good. It's a 32-foot Douglas skater powered by 3 270 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. Mike Novick from Detroit, Michigan is on the throttles, and Eddie Martinez is your driver in the First Defense race team, who we'll try to get back to a little later on. But they have a tremendous opportunity in the semi-pro number 1 group. But here we have a semi-pro number 3 boat who is moving. Great Adventure. This is a 31-foot Suckman powered by 2 454 horsepower Innovation Marine motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Bill Gazelle of Bricktown, New York, Ralph Sutphin Jr. from Cape Coral, Florida is your navigator, and David Greaves from Topsfield, Massachusetts is on throttles. David Greaves has been a great competitor all year and certainly has done a great job with the Newburyport race that he runs in Massachusetts that he invites freeze frames to. We certainly enjoy the relationship that we have with David Greaves as well as Bill Gazelle and the entire Great Adventure race team. A great competitor right now, the Great Adventure race team. They had a 5th place on Wednesday, so with a good finish here today, it would certainly put them in a very comfortable position, perhaps even the checkered flag. Once again, these drivers pay attention to the point standings as much as they do to the course and the equipment, so they know exactly what it's going to take today to bring the checkered flag home. From Key West, Florida, it's B54, Bill Gazelle's Great Adventure race team. These Innovation Racing motors combined with the Sutphin Race Hull, excellent combination right now. Gazelle, Sutphin, and Greaves doing a fantastic job in Great Adventures. They're presently leading in the semi-pro number 3 group, and they're in a fierce competition between Team Spirit, Pennzoil, B-Wave, Headhunter, Vanishing Point, Hot Ticket. Crack Hunt is also in that group. So it's a very competitive group, the semi-pro number 3 group. Great Adventure heading through Mallory Square, enjoying a very comfortable run right now. And there they are. Tough break for Frank Latch Sr. and Jr., the Wild Turkey race team, as he limps back to the dock. And that's it for them today. Tough break for Wild Turkey, but you know they'll be back next year stronger than ever. Great competitors. Bill Gazelle's Great Adventure race team enjoying a very fine run at this point in the race course. He'd love to improve upon his finish from Wednesday, and with a good finish here today, it could put him in the winner's circle for the overall week of racing. We'll have to wait and see how this unfolds, but right now the drama is certainly building in semi-pro number 3. And now we're back to first defense. P555. This 32 Douglas Skater, powered by three 275 horsepower Mercury outboard motors, is certainly doing the job. Right there they are, those 2.4 EFI Mercury outboards doing the job that they do so well, and that's propelling First Defense to a very strong run right now. This boat is owned and throttled by Mike Novick of Detroit, Michigan, and he's got the comparable Eddie Martinez from Miami Beach, Florida, as his driver. They had a second place finish on Wednesday, so obviously a strong finish here today will put them probably in the winner's circle. They'd like to have a first place. They need a second or a first place here today, and they certainly realize it. And with high risk being out of the race, I'm not sure if they realize it at this point in time, but with a strong finish here today, Felton being knocked out, they could have a great opportunity here today to take the checkered flag. A lot will have to depend on what happens with Champion Marine and Talon Comp 37. But Mike Novick has an excellent opportunity for the checkered flag in the semi-pro #1 class here today. P555, the First Defense race team, having a great day. Novick and Martinez chasing a golden opportunity here today. Coming in underneath our helicopter, it's B-37 Team Spirit. This is a 31-foot Spirit sport boat powered by two 500 horsepower Rogers Engine Works motors with Mercruiser drive. This boat is owned by Dean Stallman of Naples, Florida, who's doing the driving. Navigating today is Russell Stallman, and Roger Munn is on throttle, all hailing from the Naples, Florida area. Team Spirit, it's a new boat company in Naples, Florida. They've been racing their production boat here today. They make race boats as well as pleasure boats in the Naples, Florida area. Spirit Race Boats. They're looking very strong right now. In Wednesday, they had a second place finish, so with a second or a first place finish here today and a very high average speed, they will be in consideration for your first overall in the semi-pro class #3 division. And right now, Stallman and Munn are looking very competitive and very, very strong. They're locked in a fierce battle with Great Adventure, who we saw earlier on. It's neck and neck. Both boats are running in the 1-2 position. Great Adventures and Team Spirit. It's going to go right down to the wire between these two boats. Also in the hunt in that division is Kenzoil, B-Way, Headhunter, and Vanishing Point. Roger Munn doing an excellent job on the throttles. And there's Mike Novick's First Defense race team, who we saw earlier on in division #1. These are two different divisions, obviously, but a boat #3 is going by First Defense. So perhaps this deep V model hull goes much better in the rough seas than First Defense, who is a cat, right now can. So Stallman and Munn taking advantage of the type of boat that they have to get through these rough seas. Team Spirit in Key West, Florida, enjoying a very good run. And with a good finish here today, they could be your eventual champion in semi-pro number 3. Catch the Spirit with Spirit Sport Boats of Naples, Florida. Freeze Frame's pursuit of excellence to bring you nothing but the closest and best footage available. Sometimes we have to pay the price for that. Here we come up on S-37, the boat known as Endangered Species. This is a 34-foot Suckman powered by 2 600-horsepower Innovation Marine motors with Arneson surface drives. This boat is owned by Fast 34 Incorporated from Frostproof, Florida. Driving is Clay Wilson from Frostproof, and from Sarasota on throttles, it's Rick Lamore making up the Endangered Species race team. In the semi-pro number 2 group, Endangered Species is having a very good run right now. He's holding off Assault, Cayo Motown, Conch Attack, Hyperactive, and Panther. Unfortunately, were not able to get started today, so this division is down to just 4 boats. You've got Conch Attack, Cayo Motown, Assault, and Endangered Species, so this class is wide open for anyone to take it. Endangered Species had a first place on Wednesday, and they're looking very strong right now, unofficially running in first place in their division. So if things remain the same as they are right now, Endangered Species will be your champ over this race weekend in the Battle on the Seas in the semi-pro class number 2. Endangered Species from Key West having a very good run in their class. Endangered Species. And there you get an up-close look at those Arneson surface drives right there. Excellent shot by Jeff Girardi from Freeze Frame Video, getting up close with the Endangered Species race team. And now they're going right out. This boat is moving. Rick Lamore from Sarasota is doing a great job on the throttles. Here you see endangered species starting to head into Mallory Square. As they go by the beautiful beaches of Key West, they'll be making the turn and really giving the fans their money's worth. Endangered species leading in the semi-pro number 2 division. APBA going through Mallory Square, holding off the hard-charging Headhunter for their final positioning right here. As B-Wave goes through Mallory Square, waves to the crowd. They have been able to hold off Headhunter right there. That was a very close finish in that division for the 4th place. That was the 4th and 5th spot awarded in semi-pro number 3. B-Wave holding off Headhunter. Great racing. Now we come up on S125, the Assault Race Team. This is a 25-foot motion catamaran powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Robert Golan of Miami, Florida, and Edwin Shear from Miami is your driver. Shear and Golan making up the Assault Race Team. Assault Race Team is presently in 2nd place. They're running behind Endangered Species, who you saw earlier on just dominate. Right now, they're experiencing a very rough leg here on the race course. This 25-foot cat is having some extreme difficulties as it tries to negotiate the very rough seas it is experiencing right now. And you saw Endangered Species, being the larger Sutphen Deep V monohull, had less trouble than this as it went through the course. But now it seems to be picking up a little bit. He is through some of the rougher water, and he is starting to move on again. The Assault Race Team having a much better run here right now, and he's unofficially in 2nd place behind Endangered Species. Assault Race Team had a 4th place finish on Wednesday where they had some mechanical problems, so a good finish here today would put them in a much better position overall. The Assault Race Team. And they are holding off Kyo Motown, who is also having a good run from Michigan. So we're going to be staying with the Assault Race Team as he is coming in for his final leg, and soon he'll be heading around the beach and into Mallory Square to take his final finish. And after that, we'll be compiling the results, and in just moments, we'll be bringing you the final results of the Bud Light Key West Battle on the Seas. Now Assault is rounding the beach and beginning his final lap through Mallory Square. You can see the water's much calmer now, and the Assault race team is making their assault on Mallory Square for the final time. He's really cranking it out right now, and this boat is moving. You really get an idea of the difference of what this boat can do in the calm seas as opposed to the very rough water, and they're letting it all go out right now, the Assault race team. Excellent show for all the fans who have lined Mallory Square. And that's it. The Assault race team has finished up, and now we're going to compile our final results.